Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, as I said in my blog of 42 back in 2021, one of the most tragic losses in the film industry was Chadwick Boseman, no thanks to colon cancer. In my opinion, Chadwick was a great actor in life, and out of all of his film roles, the Black Panther in the MCU was what really made him famous. And let me tell you, King T'Challa has had a pretty interesting history, from joining Team Iron Man to avenge his father's death in Captain America Civil War, to having his own solo film in 2018 where he was challenged by his cousin Killmonger, which won an Academy Award for Best Costume Design, Best Production Design, and Best Original Score, to joining the Avengers in a battle against Thanos before sadly getting snapped, and then 5 years later in 2023, he, Shuri, and other victims were resurrected by Bruce Banner and took part in the final battle with the Mad Titan during the events of Endgame. Now, imagine my surprise when I heard news of a Black Panther sequel. I mean, I was a bit heartbroken, but I still thought to myself, if a sequel was made, what kind of story would it tell, even with Chadwick Boseman no longer with us anymore? Well, not too long ago, my questions were answered. And again, I was surprised. So, released on November 11th, 2022, the movie is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, on for the plot of the movie. Following the untimely death of the fierce King T'Challa, Queen Ramonda and Princess Shuri struggle to find their feet in a world eager to strip Wakanda of its precious vibranium resources. But then, the country faces yet another threat, this time from King Namor, the mutant leader of the unstoppable oceanic warrior race, who is determined to protect the hidden underwater kingdom of Talokan from the surface world at all costs. And as the invaders' suffocating stranglehold tightens, Wakanda must prepare to fight with or without its valiant defender. So, what are my thoughts on this movie? Well, in my opinion, this movie was really surprising, interesting, emotional, and action-packed. And I found it to be a good sequel. And to further explain what I'm talking about, let's move on to Mustang notes. Ideas for a sequel began after the release of Black Panther in February 2018. Director Ryan Coogler negotiated to return as director in the following months, and Marvel Studios officially confirmed the sequel's development in mid-2019. Plans for the film changed in August 2020 when Chadwick Boseman died from colon cancer, with Marvel choosing not to recast his role. Filming began in late June 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia, taking place at both Trillett Studios and Tyler Perry Studios, before moving to Massachusetts in August, but was halted in November to allow Letitia Wright to recover from an injury sustained before filming. It resumed by mid-January 2022 and wrapped up in late March in Puerto Rico. After the movie was released, it grossed about $859.2 million worldwide, becoming the sixth highest grossing film of 2022. And like the first movie, it won an Academy Award for Best Costume Design, along with 2 Critics' Choice Movie Awards and 1 Golden Globe Award. Now, I have to confess, I never saw the movie when it was released in theaters, though I wanted to. It's just that November 2022 was a very busy month for me at the time, not only because of Christmas rehearsals, but because I was making preparations to move here. However, after I watched it on Blu-ray recently, I admit that this movie has really good cinematography, and like the first movie, the costumes are really incredible, and Ruth E. Carter did a wonderful job designing them. Plus, I still think the Kingdom of Wakanda is absolutely breathtaking, and it makes me want to visit Africa in the future. And I find Shuri's lab to be very futuristic. Plus, I also like a few locations that are featured, like the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, in Cambridge, Massachusetts, Cap Haitien in Haiti, which is located in the Caribbean Sea, and the underwater kingdom of Talocan, which is located in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of North America. By the way, in my opinion, Talocan looks very mysterious, and it's kind of similar to Atlantis from the Aquaman movies. Plus, I find it interesting that it's based on Tlalocan, which is one of the underworld realms in the Aztec Codex, ruled by the rain god Tlaloc. Also to note, the action and fight scenes are absolutely awesome and very well choreographed, especially during the FBI chase scene in Cambridge and the final battle between Talocan and Wakanda. And I thought the flood scene in Wakanda was very intense. As for the story, well, to me, I think it makes a nice tribute to both King T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman, and I like that the movie uses archival footage of him. And I think it's both sad and surprising that T'Challa's death happened during May of this year, 2024. Plus, I feel like some plot points in this movie feel a bit reminiscent to past MCU films like Thor: The Dark World and Captain America: Civil War, in a way. And that's all I got for Mustang notes, so let's move on to the cast. Our main character and new Black Panther, Princess Shuri, is played by Letitia Wright, whom I remember from Death on the Nile, Ready Player One, and Illumination Sing 2. Now, as I said during my blog of the first movie, I felt that Shuri was pretty similar to Princess Isabel from Elena of Avalor due to her high intelligence and that she designs new technology for her nation. Also, I think her AI, Greo, is not only similar to Jarvis from the Iron Man films, but he's also a great supporting character in this film. Anyway, back to Shuri. In my opinion, she's strong, smart, fierce, and brave, and she makes a great leader while leading her people in a battle with Talocan, and I think her Black Panther suit looks equally as awesome as T'Challa's. Also to note, Shuri is someone that I deeply feel sympathy for due to her grief over a loved one, which nowadays I understand how it feels since I too lost someone precious to me. Plus, like T'Challa did during Civil War, after the death of Queen Ramonda, Shuri becomes overcome with rage and vengeance. But thankfully, just when she had the chance to kill Namor after gravely injuring him, she later realized that vengeance was consuming her, and instead, she decides to spare his life and proposes a truce with the Sea Dwellers. Next is her mother, Queen Ramonda, played by Angela Bassett, whom I talked about in my blogs of Orion and the Dark, Disney's Meet the Robinsons, Bumblebee, aka Nightformers, Pixar's Soul, and next year, she'll be voicing in Travis Knight's upcoming stop-motion adaptation of Wildwood. During this movie, Ramonda once again assumes her position as queen after T'Challa's death, with geopolitical relationships growing strenuous over Wakanda's private reserves of vibranium. Ramonda was confronted by Namor, who threatened war against Wakanda unless they could locate the scientists responsible for creating the underwater vibranium detector. To me, Ramonda has got to be the best character in this whole movie, and I think Angela Bassett really has deserved the Critics' Choice / Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress back then. Plus, I think it must have been really frustrating and stressful for her to balance between leading her people, being a mother to Shuri, and keeping threats to Wakanda at bay, all while grieving her son's death. But at the same time, I think Ramonda is very wise, and she's extremely protective of her people. Also, I thought she was very brave when she saved Riri Williams from death at the cost of her own life, which demonstrates her choice to put others' lives before her own, even if they are not Wakandans. Next we have T'Challa's lover, Nakia, played by Lupita Nyong'o, whom was Maz Kanata in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Raksha from the 2016 Jungle Book reboot, along with films like Queen of Katwe, Little Monsters, and she'll be in A Quiet Place Day 1 later this year. Ugh. Anyway, in this movie, 1 year after the death of King T'Challa, Nakia was recruited by Queen Ramonda into rescuing Princess Shuri from Talokan. However, in the process, Nakia inadvertently sparked the Talokan/Wakanda War. Plus, it's revealed that she and T'Challa secretly had a son named Toussaint, or T'Challa II, and she's been raising him in Haiti after the snap. Now let's move on to General Okoye, played by Danai Gurira, whom was Fury in the final Tinkerbell spinoff. To me, Okoye is another great character due to her being Wakanda's most loyal warrior ever, and I like that she helps Princess Shuri protect Riri Williams. Unfortunately, she got stripped from her general rank for recklessly putting the princess in danger. However, I like that Okoye tries to redeem herself by fighting during the Talokan/Wakanda War and rescuing Everett Ross from being arrested for helping Wakanda. We also have M'Baku, the leader of the Jabari tribe, played by Winston Duke. The thing that I like about M'Baku is that he makes a great ally of Wakanda, and he's also patriotic to his nation. Plus, I like that he provides shelter for the Wakandan refugees, and he acts like an elder brother to provide emotional support to Shuri. And now let's move on to the new characters, starting with Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, played by Dominique Thorne. Riri is an MIT student from Chicago and a gifted inventor who created various cutting-edge designs, such as a flying suit of armor based on Iron Man's suits. In the movie, Riri finds herself being threatened by Namor since her invention, the vibranium detector, has been putting Talokan in danger of being exposed to the surface world. In my opinion, Riri has got to be my favorite character in the whole movie, and she makes a great foil to Shuri, in a way. Plus, I find it incredible that she's built her first machine at the age of 3, and I think her Ironheart armor is simply amazing that the late Tony Stark would really be impressed. Plus, the part where she mentions Beauty and the Beast and 2 Lucasfilms while being held prisoner was pretty funny. Also, in case you're wondering, I'm deeply looking forward to Riri's upcoming Disney Plus miniseries, which should be streaming starting in September of next year. Finally, we have the film's main villain, King Cha-To Almahen, aka Namor, played by Tenoch Huerta, whom was in 2 episodes of the Amazon TV series Mozart in the Jungle. Namor is the ruler of the underwater kingdom of Talokan. Following his mother's death, he visited the surface world and witnessed the atrocities of Spanish colonization, causing him to take violent action. Determined to protect his people, Namor felt threatened when the United States came close to discovering his country while searching for vibranium. He later came into contact with Wakanda and proposed a military alliance, but the Golden Tribe refused to wage war. In response, Namor led his people against Wakanda, claiming the life of Queen Ramonda in the process. In the end, Namor was defeated by Princess Shuri, and he was forced to yield and formed an alliance with Wakanda. And now on to my final words. Overall, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was a truly worthy sequel to come from the MCU. It has great cinematography, it has fantastic action and fight scenes, the score by Ludwig Göransson is excellent, and the costumes are really incredible. Plus, Shuri was a sympathetic main character, and she was a fierce Black Panther. Her mother, Queen Ramonda, was a wise supporting character. Namor was an understandable villain, and Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, was an awesome new character. Also to note, while there were a couple plot points that felt a bit cliched, I still consider this movie as a great tribute to both Chadwick Boseman and King T'Challa. Out of all the superheroes in the MCU who have died over the years, from Quicksilver, Vision, Black Widow, and even Iron Man, I think I'm gonna miss King T'Challa the most. As for my rating, I'll give this movie a full 100%. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me for my next blog, where I finally share my thoughts on the Swan Princess finale. Mustang power. Oh, and Wakanda forever.